that? And is that? Oh my god. Brown just made it. Oh my goodness. This is really unbelievable.
Hello everyone and welcome to Take It to the Max show with Grandmaster Max Dlugy. This is me playing you in the 5-minute pool. Let's see how it goes today. Certainly should be exciting. While we're waiting, let's see what's happening in the chess world. Well, no, can't wait. We're playing already. I'm playing I Am Curtains. I'm sure we've played many times before. Let's see how the Sicilian goes today. I'm gonna change the openings around a little bit. Sicilian, maybe some Carocans, Scandinavians. Get the creative juices flowing if white plays e4 against me. See what happens. Okay, yeah, we just saw this recent. There was an interesting game between Wesley Saw and Alexandra Kostyniuk, and Alexandra did a great job showing that black has a reasonable position here after this move bishop b4, which is the move I also like as black. So we'll see how this goes. Very exciting always to play this line for both sides, because white's trying to make black and black is trying to defend while also trying to mate white. So lots of interesting stuff. Bishop e5 is not the main move for a very simple reason that knight g4 is a strong, I believe, quite a strong response. But I may be wrong. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Okay, now I can take, and certainly the ending should be very good for black. Two bishops and huge center. So we didn't really get a big demonstration of black's counterplay. Okay, now the big question is, should I exchange knights and play this rather nice ending? I mean bishops on c3, or just play the position as it is? I think I'll just play for now king e7. I think if white plays knight e2, then I can figure out what to do. But first things first, connect the rooks. Okay, now probably play for bishop h6 at some point. Okay, now probably time to, maybe a good time to take. Although maybe still I can play a little bit longer, just taunting with white a bit here and protecting against. Okay, well, finally, okay, I'll take it. And okay, probably move my, okay, what does black want? They want to play c4, right, at some point. So we need to move our king away from that potential issue. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, because now I can force white to do something with the c pawn by hitting it on the side. Always look for these kinds of ideas, by the way. This out of nowhere attacks with your pieces to improve your position. Okay, a sacrifice. Let's attack this with a bishop. That way I'm sure white will take on d5. Otherwise I'll take with the bishop, right? So okay, rook and pawn ending not so hot for white. The c pawn is a bit weak, the e pawn is a bit weak, so not so hot for white is basically. Okay, now I can certainly play a4. Yeah, probably a4 is a good move to keep white's king and pieces a bit passive. Check and move the king around here. Okay, white's trying to get active a little bit. Let's improve the pawn structure just a bit by playing g4 here. Interesting sacrifice. Okay, it's an interesting concept that white did, very unexpected. Okay, I'm gonna try to get active with my rooks. Okay, now wow, what a concept. Rook b1, and I don't have much. I have to check on d1. It's too bad. I think I screwed up. My great winning chances are... Okay, well, let me try to do something. I'll try to get some maybe slight advantage. I think I really gave up most of my advantage here, but I'll try. I'm gonna try to defend the g pawn with my f pawn, or my current g pawn if white takes en passant. Okay, now I have to stop rook a7. Okay, and future attack on the king side. Okay, maybe rook h2. For now, get white a bit passive. That's what I want, just a little passive, and that will be fine for the future. On king moves I can play rook c7 hopefully. On this I was thinking of f4 and f3 next. That was my big idea. Let's see if it can work. f3 coming up. Never give up on your hopes, guys. If you think you better look, keep looking. Even if your opponent created some great counterplay, doesn't mean it's over. Just keep looking. Okay, f3. Okay, if I check, or maybe I should play. Okay, that's a good move actually. White played f3, rook d2, g3. Okay, I'm gonna try to break in from the other side now. Check. And now okay, this one is g3 should be winning now, right? And my pawns are queening, I think, finally. On king f4 also rook e2 is strong, I think. Okay. Okay, first check. No, maybe next check. Next move check. If he plays rook c3, then check. Yeah, check. And then another check, and then queen. And my rook is actually protecting. Well, this one is check with a queen. That's pretty brutal. That's as brutal as it gets, my friends. Queening with a check. Well, tough game, but it got tough later, not initially, because of course initially white allowed this very important simplification, knight g4. I thought maybe queen d4, but then probably c5 just wins, right? Queen d4 c5 I think just wins the bishop. So white played here, but then I take again, queen takes pawn, still queen g5 check, picking up a full piece. And this is just a very dangerous endgame for white. Very difficult to hold. I mean, I misplayed it. Of course, the big question here is, should I trade the bishop for the knight? And weaken white's pawn structure, or should I keep the bishop? So I tried to keep it, and now the temptation was too high. Maybe I should have just played bishop d6 or bishop c5 first and kept it. After all, after I play bishop c5 and then followed up by a4, I'll have a space advantage, plus the two bishops, plus a great pawn structure in the center. But I decided to just play technically, seeing that I have this excellent chance to hit the pawn and force some simplifications. And here we had a good start to my I played a4 thinking this would stop white's rook from coming to b3, and then the king would be always kept at bay that way, which it was. But then maybe this king d7, maybe I should have played some like g6 and hit my king on g7. But here white actually is getting some counterplay, and this g4 move I'm not sure about. And this was a very interesting try by white to put my rook out of commission. And here I had to really find a good idea, which I think I did. I played rook h2 to connect, to force the white's rook to be a little bit passive, and then check so that my rooks could connect, and then f5. That's done to protect my g pawn. Now white has a choice. He can take the g pawn now, but then my king gets active, goes to c6 and c5, and then I can go after white's a pawn perhaps, or he could do what he did, which is he took the a pawn, but then the g5 became dangerous. Oops, why did I get that far away? Hold on one sec. Yeah, so then the g5, then I just played g5, and suddenly maybe rook a6 was a mistake, and then suddenly f4 is in the air all the time, and white decided not to come back to a4, which is probably wrong. And now simply my pawns are queening. f3 is a huge threat, very difficult to deal with. All right, well, let's start the next game. And here we are playing against sort of a perk defense, I guess, at this point, against my opponent, FIDE Master Alias, who always does quite well. All right, let's. Okay, and this move, I see that black wants to play e5. I think I can let him do that. It's not a big deal. Now the question is, should I perhaps play simply bishop d2 to get that queen a bit passive back to c7 or something then? Probably, right? Okay, doesn't want to get passive, but can he take on b2, or is it too dangerous? Looks a little too dangerous, but he can take on d4. That's not dangerous. That's not dangerous at all. So I should probably ask that queen to leave, and maybe should I play c4 here? Takes 92, 95. That would force me to give up the bishop. Otherwise black is playing b5, but that's not such a big deal, right? Yeah, I'm gonna allow that. Okay. And black didn't even have that in mind, so that's fine. Let's protect the e pawn, and now I can play c4. Now the e pawn is defended, so I can go bishop f1 if that happens. Okay, should I move my pawn to b4, or should I play simply knight c3? I think the knight's doing some interesting stuff here on a4. Let me keep it there for now. Okay, this pawn can be protected for now with the queen. Okay, spend a little time getting situated here. So here maybe I should be playing a bit faster, maybe making a couple of reasonable moves like h3. Okay, c5, that was what black was preparing. Okay, let me see what that means exactly. I'm not sure how good that is actually. Giving me the d5 square, the knight can now streamline to the d5 square. Yes, in fact, that's exactly what I'm going to try to do. I'm not going to care about the bishop as much as the d5 square. Maybe I'm wrong, but let me try it. Okay, now I will care about the bishop. I didn't say forever, I just said that moment, right? So now if I play knight d5 and c takes d5, then I lose the pawn to knight e4. That's not good. So now I have to prepare that idea. Maybe by hitting that knight once. At least once. Okay, now let's just improve our rook just in case b7 becomes weak one day. We'll move our interesting. Now I can play knight d5. No, still can't. Okay, but now I can play bishop f4, looking at this d6 weakness perhaps. Okay, cool. Don't have to trade that, can just move again. Okay. The weaknesses are roughly equal in its weakness. The c4 pawn and the d6 pawn are roughly of the same weakness value. The advantage white may have is that he has some stronger pieces like the bishop on d4, but this could evaporate if I don't play exactly. So bishop c4 is a threat. If I play knight a4, b5. If I play how can I defend that pawn? Well, I can just put the rook on the c file. I think that will be enough because yes, okay, now I can finally play my beautiful move knight d5 and take with the c pawn. That's exactly what I wanted all day long, my friends. All day long I just wanted that pawn structure. Finally I got it. Okay, good for me. Now I don't think black can really avoid trade of queens. I mean, he can play queen d8, but that's not gonna change the nature of the position. I can play queen c7 and go into an endgame, which I think I'm better in. On other moves I catch him with queen c3 or queen b2, something like that, hitting g7 at the same time. So this is not a very good ending for black, as I mentioned, as I might have mentioned. Okay, now maybe rook c7, maybe a4. Okay, let's go with rook c7. Don't have that much time. Yeah, that one gets taken. Okay, take the c file. Okay, how do I win? Well, first the king. Always, all the endings start with a king. King, 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 king. King, king, king. Okay. First the big king, then the pawns, then the pieces, then the other pieces come in. Like the bishop to g4. Now he's gonna play, I don't care. Bishop to g4. And then knight c5, e5. Endings are bad, where you have pieces that are weak. Okay, now should I wait a little bit or go for it? Probably go for it, right? Okay, let's see. Let's see how black defends. Okay. Okay, now all I need is a open file. Once I get an open file, it's game over. For example, the C file. That's quite open. Oh, no, How about the A file? And pretty much game over. Wasn't that maybe obvious, but very, very straightforward, right? Once it actually gets going. And now, of course, rook goes to the 7th rank. And everybody is happy again. Okay. So, interesting and kind of strategic what happened here. Okay, I'm not very proud of the opening. I think black is absolutely okay somehow. But he has to figure out exactly how he's okay. C5 is an interesting move, a bit double-edged. DC would be probably even weaker because after, let's say, I don't know, knight b3, I'm thinking of playing f4 and e5 and knight c3, knight d5. Okay, I got the next challenge, so I suggest you look at that game. I thought it was quite interesting strategically. Okay, we have another type of line now. And here we go. Time to play h3. Don't want my bishop to be trapped. Okay, that I accept. Castle. And rook e1, for example. And of course a4. This is important. And now my favorite move. What's my favorite move? I have a few of them. I think it's queen b3. No, knight c4 maybe. Just thinking, yeah, knight c4. Knight c4. Now knight d2. Aha. Now I can play knight e3 and maybe bishop g5 for now. I want to create some weaknesses. Yeah, I should have played queen e2. That was a big mistake. Maybe I should have played queen e2. Okay, I'm gonna take and play. Should I play queen b3 here or queen e2? Maybe just queen e2. Okay. Now let's see what our knights can do on a5, perhaps. Aha. Not letting me do that. Let's move our knights to other squares here. Knight b4 maybe. Okay. It can wait. b5 is hanging, meanwhile. A little bit annoying, right? For black. A bit annoying. Not so easy. b5 is hanging. Knight b4 is coming. Okay, here's my knight b4. Now I can take the bishop probably, or play rook a6. Some more annoyance. I think this is how Gadakamsky gets them. He just finds these annoying moves. And I don't know. It's nice to watch. It's also nice to do it. For example, I think my big threat is rook a6 and then on queen b7 rook a5 at some point. Yeah, suddenly black is in for a thing. In for a serious think. Not such a pretty position. Okay, I'm going to play rook a6 and f3. And I want to play rook a5 now. Or I also want to play rook a1. Look at my position. It's beautiful, actually. The b pawn is quite weak. And my opponent is getting exasperated trying to find what is it Where's the counterplay, right? I can certainly just move back. No worries about that. And rook a5 is coming and rook a1 is coming. Don't even know which one I'd go for. Probably rook a1, because that will trade a few pieces too. Plus gives me more stuff, more goodies. Okay, now, he wants to play rook b7. If I play rook a1, that's smart. Okay, I better just take that pawn then. I better just go for that pawn. It's too smart. It's too smart for his own good. I'm going to take his pawn then. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Okay, now I can grab his pawn with the bishop. And that looks really hot. Okay. Now more. Yeah, well, more stuff to bring in. Because I'm kind of hoping that there's more to this than a pawn. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should just go back. I'll play c4. Just go back. Yeah, I'll just go back for now. Okay, well that's a blunder. I'm sorry. I understand black wanted to do something on the queen side, but that's just a blunder. King side, but that's just a blunder. But that happens. I mean, it happens when you're playing, you know, under pressure like that. So I'm sorry, but things like that do happen. Okay, so what was happening in that game, I have to say, was interesting, because it was kind of, it looked like I was just meddling with, you know, some weirdness here. But in fact, by the way, I have to consider that e5 doesn't actually win material. I can just move my bishop, or I can take pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn. And on knight takes, I take with a knight, protecting my bishop on d3. Otherwise, e5 could be strong, right? Queen c7, knight c4. So this is, I'm trying to get my pieces out there to the queen side. And this is the only way I can do it, because I can't move my queen if my knight's attacked on f3, right? Okay, black decides to play bishop d5, and I simply say, no, go back. He does, but improves his bishop. Now, here I should have played, I think, queen e2, although queen b7, right? Why? Maybe queen b2 wasn't so hot. I played bishop g5 just to improve my bishop and not let black move his knight around as much as he probably wanted. And now he decided this is a good moment to break in. But then the question becomes, is that a strong pawn on b5? Or maybe it's just a weakness. He plays queen b7, I go knight b3, threatening knight a5. He improves the queen, but then I put my knight on a nice outpost, b4. Now, if he plays d5, he locks out his bishop. If he doesn't, I have a good outpost. What to do? He decides to improve his bishop first, but then I just go back and still my knight's going to b4. I'm going to win the tempo I just lost. He plays rook b8, and the rest is history. Okay. Jerome, good luck. Okay, Caro-Kann, or let's do Scandinavian. Kind of feel Scandinavian. I saw Magnus Carlsen signed up for the two Grand Chess Tour events, the rapid ones. That will be cool to watch, of course. Okay, what's happening here is my opponent is probably thinking I'm gonna attack, and I'm thinking I'm going to pin, and I'm gonna keep that pin, although bishop takes knight followed by knight e4 isn't really a problem for me, but I'm gonna go for that. Actually, why didn't I play knight e4 immediately? Oh my god, knight e4 immediately. That was the killer. Yep, see, I was thinking too much into it. a3 is a blunder, knight e4, knight takes c3, and bishop takes c3. Now, can I do it now? It's much more complicated now, and doesn't quite get me the same bonuses, but I'm gonna, no, knight e4, now bishop h5 I have to calculate. I'm gonna go for it because it's just so much fun, right? Not very safe. Not a very safe choice. And certainly the previous move, knight d4 was winning on the spot. a3 was a quick knee-jerk reaction from white, and I had a knee-jerk reaction there. Yeah, now I have to think, actually, because knight takes knight, bishop takes bishop, knight takes knight, rook takes, knight takes rook, rook takes pawn, king over crazy stuff. And if I play alright, I don't know. I can't quite see it to the end. It looks playable, but maybe I'm just wrong. Oh, that move I didn't see. See, that happens when you're overreaching. Aye. Well, time to defend. Knight g6. Here we go. Time to defend a little bit at least, right? Okay. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's okay. I'm gonna have to win this game again, but I don't think it's that impossible. Black, I have a nice pawn structure on the queen side, and I can hope to make use of it if the winds permit. Okay. Okay. Now that's a good move. I'm gonna have to think about it. That's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to play bishop d6 to hit that pawn. The idea is to play bishop e7 and improve my yes. Yeah, hopefully the bishop is not that great because it's kind of in the middle of things. Yeah, now I'm gonna try to create some isolated pawns around here. In any case, I'm pretty safe, I think. Now I'm actually threatening to take on c5 and play rook d5, I think, more or less, if white plays rook b1. Okay, he didn't play rook b1. I'm gonna just improve my position a little bit. And now I'm gonna take and try to double. Okay, not smart maybe, but okay, let's take the rooks. Check. Oh, I'm misplaying this. I think I'm misplaying it already. Okay, I'm putting the knight on d5. And the rook is going to yeah, the rook is not going anywhere. I need to quickly improve my pieces before I lose. That's how badly I misplayed this position. So I had a better endgame and I think I screwed it up completely. And now I have to look for some drawing chances. So it's not actually going to be that easy. Rook on the 7th is doom and gloom sometimes. Where are my counterplays? Where's my counterplay coming from? On the other hand, it's not that easy. Okay, that's a cool move. It's not that easy to see how white will improve. Okay. Only by zugzwang, right? Well, I don't have Zugzwang because I have this move. Do I? King e8, rook c7, king d8, bishop c6. No. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if I can make these moves for a while. How's white getting me now? Ugly position though. Very ugly. If I make a draw, it's gonna be one of the ugliest draws I've done. Okay, here I have this move. Now I have to actually look if rook a7 loses. I really don't think so. I'm gonna do it. I don't really think so. Okay, this is not something I want to give. Okay, let's okay, I'm gonna go for this king and pawn ending. Ah, he doesn't go for it. Interesting. Okay, well, so I made a draw. Well, that wasn't very pretty, but of course, what do I get for playing so badly in a simple position? Here, knight e4 was obviously crushing. Knight e4, knight takes knight, and goodbye. Well, didn't happen, and now we have this. A tough game is what we have against a really good player. Okay, well, let's go in there. Let's try to get these bishops off the board for now. All right, bishops off first. Okay, that's fine. Although taking the pawn, not really clear why taking the pawn would be a bad move. Okay, let's get the bishop out to an active square so that we can develop our knight. Yes, a knight developed. Job well done. Well, can we castle? I think we can get just castle kingside. We don't have to play for mate immediately, right? Okay. Black probably is thinking e5, so I'm gonna move away for now. Now interesting. What should be my plan? Probably to take some space on the queen side with a4, a5 if possible. Like on a6, maybe take the knight and play e5. Something like that. And then try to maneuver my knight into the e5 square. Knight f4, knight d3, knight e5. Possible. Possible idea. Okay. Black is against that. So I'm going to play b3. I think capturing on b5 would be helpful to me, not to black. But I'm going to stop knight c4. Okay, now on the one hand, I think I'm going to play bishop d3. Okay, now white is going to b4 maybe, but not so simple. Okay, queen e3, then e5, queen f4 then. Maybe I should just start with f4 to try to open up black's position. I don't think black can take on d4. Queen e3 looks dangerous, but I may be wrong. Well, I got him thinking at least a little bit. Okay. Okay, now queen e3. I have to play, I think. Okay, let's do it. This could be getting exciting very quickly. Okay, he didn't go for it, which means I have some intuition about what's going on, hopefully, but we'll see if that holds up. Aha. b5 takes. Yeah, now let's improve our knight for now. Okay, I think it could have been worse. Now my knight can get to c5, and that's not the worst way of protecting the pawn. Aha, cool idea. So what happens on queen e6? Okay, I'm gonna go with queen e6, I think, right? Or Desperado must be very desperate to be respected. Well, the queen e5, actually planning g4, g5. It's probably just winning. I don't know. Okay, now I gotta connect with these guys. This is not so good. Okay, now what's going on? I lost some traction here. Okay, now let's open up the position a bit for our future pieces before it gets tough. Okay, I screwed it up. Queen e5 was clearly much better than the desperado thing I did. But that's what happens in blitz games when you're having fun. Ooh, that's a tough move to to think about. Okay, well, let's keep our pawn alive for now, and then see what that brings us. Maybe the rook f6 somewhere can happen. Yeah, there's even material. Okay. Okay. Rook e3 is what he wants to play. If I play h3, that is dangerous. Okay, what to do? Phew. Gotta make moves. Got to make moves. All right, let's get defensive a bit. Rook isn't doing much there. And let's go back. Okay. Let's try to promote our pawn. Oops. That was a bad move. Ay. Not a good thing. Yeah. Suddenly, well, that's what happens when you're having fun. Too much fun. Yes, draw. Well, that happens to the best of us, you know, guys. I actually looked for that stalemate and I got it. So there we go. Not too bad sometimes. So fine. That was a tough draw. I probably overreached, but queen e5 was the move earlier on. All right, well, here we go. Reminiscing about the Svidler Karyakin Svidler. I promised to play better than Peter in that game, although he was close to drawing. But Guardian Angel is no picnic, I would say. So let's see how we do here. No picnic playing Guardian Angel. Okay. To be honest, I played this position many times before, so I'm not so scared yet. I played it with white's king on c1 many more times than with the king on e1. That's if white would have castled. But probably doesn't matter much. For example, position like this, the king just made it to c1, as you can see. Here the big question is, should black play for what kind of result? To play the game, in which case moves like b5 come into mind, or f5, or to just exchange some pieces off and play the endgame. I think maybe against a player of white's caliber. Okay, he's playing b3. Now let's think what to do. What's a good idea? probably take some. Yeah, white of course trades, and now we gotta stop the simple move bishop e4 or e4, knight e4, and get our king a little bit centrally placed. How's the king and pawn ending? Does anyone know? I'm not so sure that it's bad or good. I don't know. And the bishop. Okay, I'm gonna go for this one instead. Yeah, obviously. Now I'm gonna create some weaknesses. Okay, and then I'll wait. Now I'll wait. And wait some more. Okay, usually bishop is quite good, but here white has a nice blockade. So I think it's probably very much okay. Now b5 could be threat, so I'm gonna move the bishop back. That king and pawn would not be good. I could have checked. Okay, interesting ideas. But again, not really clear what white's plan is, except to maybe try to flag me. Try to flag me one day. Okay, I think white wanted to go king g3, king h3. I don't really want to allow that. I'd rather have white play h3 first. Then the king's not going to appear there for a while. Okay. I'm going to be around here for now, waiting. Bishop here. Nope. Okay. Let's take. Good idea. How to deal with this one? Let's see. Okay, let's try to create a pass pawn. Okay, this one I have to take. This one I have to stop. It gives white a chance to take on b6 if he wants. Interesting. Okay. Now I have something to... Oh, no. Nice. Nice ending. That's a nice move. Okay. How's white getting through now? Oh, just by... Oh, that's cheap, guardian angels. Okay, so you just decided to flag me. That's fine. I mean, that happens to the best of us, of course. Okay. Well, that was it. Very nice guardian angel. You showed that you're a faster player when I don't hear the moves and have to explain myself. And good luck to you in your next event, which is, I think, coming up pretty soon. So this was Grandmaster Maxim Dlugy with Take It to the Max, and good night. I see the bees are coming, so I better sign off. All right, guys, take care.